like a road map. They remind me where I've been. I hung up in Fort Worth, I bucked off in Lakeland. I got one road in Farmington, New Mexico. Got drugged down the fence in El Paso. Well, it's a crazy life, but somebody's gotta live it. A crazy ride, but somebody's gonna win it. So call me stupid, yeah, call me dumb. Hey, I admit it, I'm the crazy one.
God made whiskey to keep the Irish from ruling the world and cowboys. On the 8th day, God made the farmer, but he was not done. He looked down on the wilds of his untamed earth and said, I need someone who will never be broken. And so his greatest work began. First he filled their belly full of guts and hearts full of try. Then he called them a cowboy. He needed someone who could handle a horse, teach them, tame them, but never break them. Someone whose soul needed the saddle and would not change with the world around him. So God made a cowboy. What does being Irish and a cowboy have to do with my classroom educational style? Let's take a quick look at how the Irish were viewed. Mostly drunk and lazy and lacking in intellectual faculties. I might be able to concede a little on the drunk part, but I strongly disagree with the being lazy or lacking intelligence. I don't have any pictures of my grandparents on my dad's side, and it is unclear if my grandfather was legally in the country. My grandmother had a green card that had to be renewed at the post office each year. My uncle didn't know she wasn't a citizen until 1968. All that they really know is the professor, my grandfather, arrived sometime after World War I. He was called a professor because he always had an answer, even if he had to make it up. There are no pictures of him for me to see. My dad was born in Brooklyn, New York, and grew up in a tenement building during the Great Depression. Hustling a job was commonplace for survival. My uncle describes buying 150 newspapers for a penny apiece, splitting the cost with 2 others, and then hitting the street to sell his share of papers for a nickel each. My dad lied about his age and joined the Merchant Marines during World War II. Later, after working iron, he joined the Army and was stationed at Kirtland Field in Albuquerque and had trips to Korea. Upon his discharge in 1952, he attended the University of New Mexico and earned a degree in business administration. Did I mention he was a member of the 1952 Lobo football team, and the whole team is in the Hall of Honor for the best defense in the nation? My mom was born in Emporia, Kansas. She attended St. Francis here in Albuquerque and lived off South Broadway. Her father passed away when she was 12, and she finished high school in Missouri. She is the only one of her family to have graduated high school. At the time she met my dad, she was a single mother, and the bed she slept on was taken from a house that had caught fire, had no furniture, a few dishes, and she made a $5 payment to the neighbor per month for a black and white TV. After they were married, my brother came along. Shortly after I was born, my dad lost his job as an executive at Albuquerque Federal. Times were tough. Years of just getting by, and he would take any job that came up. He often cut and sold wood to earn extra money. For me, clothes growing up were hand-me-downs from my cousins in Missouri. Pushing the lawnmower down the street was the best way to make a couple bucks. My dad taught us if you wanted something, you had to earn it. My mom taught me how to read using hooked-on phonics on a Mickey Mouse record player. It is the same record player that I'd play with the only record we had, Willie Nelson's Mama's Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Cowboys. I went to first grade at age 5, but was later held back to be with kids of my own age. It was from my mom that I drew my faith, Sunday church, and I always tried to put something in the collection plate. Honestly, I thought you put money in, and then every other week, people from the church would take food to every member's house. I was sick as a child, and my early memories are that of a hospital.
Remember when you were in first grade and you were in the hospital and all the tubes they had in you blocked up and your body shut down? We all thought you were going to die. Do you remember what you said to me after the tubes were replaced? You said, "Pray with me, Mom." When all was well, you said, "Mom, I believe, I really believe. Son, never lose that faith and never be ashamed of it. It's only through faith and belief in our Lord that all things are possible. Look where your faith and love for the Lord has gotten you today."
I've never been big on the holidays. Most were sparse, to say the least. My mom often cleaned other people's homes and toilets to make money. My favorite holiday? St. Patrick's Day. Yes, that is a holiday. Corned beef and cabbage. Once a year, a few slices of corned beef, cabbage, boiled potatoes, and dyed green angel food cake. No gifts to give and no holiday stress, just food and beer and family and friends. It is the ability to give when you do not have the ability to give, at least monetarily. My dad was always giving back, working with the Special Olympics, volunteering at the Veterans Hospital, a member of the American Legion, and was politically active for people with disabilities. It is often the poor who give the most. I learned that from my father. I worked hard in school, and despite my childhood illnesses and frail body, I was a starter all 4 high school years in football. Despite my lack of speed on a runway, I finished high school with 2 city, 2 district, and 1 state championship in pole vault. It is my past that shapes my funds of knowledge, which I bring to the classroom. I can see each student for who they are, regardless of what our systemic institutions tell us to believe about a student. I can relate to hidden immigration status, see hungry eyes, feel the pain of home life, recognize the value of each culture, and encourage students to share their funds of knowledge with the class, to earn awards in the face of adversity, to draw on critical thinking skills necessary for survival. We might not all have monetary value, but we all have a value and a wealth of knowledge that we can share. It is my past that pushes students to demonstrate and recognize their own value.
A lesson that I might have learned about you there, Todd, is, I don't know, probably one of the things is you value hard work and personal integrity, and that's number one with you. So, that's where you kind of stepped up, and, you were always talking about, like, no matter what someone thinks or no matter what the outcome is, it is always better just to, like, be stand up with a person or, have some stone or some sand. So, that was probably one of the things that you really pushed hard and, like, that really stuck with me throughout my, like, college career or, like, throughout my life, really, growing up, now. And probably another thing is just, like, perseverance and never, stopping, because I've been with you a few times, like, working on a roof or, fixing fence or fixing a corral or something, we really don't stop until we can't go anymore or until you're hungry, or even if you're sick, you can still try to be out there. So that's another thing that, you always try to do and try to strive to finish something, or with your head down, just keep grinding it out, But, those are the 2 things that I really, taken from you as a teacher. But, yeah, keep up the good work, Todd.
Meaning-based learning, like the sports marketing program or sharing of culture through an Explore New Mexico project, leads to a deeper knowledge. They know they are valuable. Each person has something to offer and teach beyond societal norms of race or background. Having been a cowboy, I know what it is like to win and lose and keep getting back up for a little bit more. To strive past the pain. It is the pain of life that lets me know how far I can push a student to achieve their very best. I see them. My dad got out of the Army as a corporal, and I was also out of the Army as a corporal. He was a Lobo letterman, and I was a Lobo letterman. He ran into hard times because of his honesty, and so have I. My living room lacks furniture, and I have a strong faith, just like my mother. I guess it's the apple and the tree. I realize that the fight of the Irish and the Cowboys is within ourselves. My uncle told me the other day to focus on my intentions. If my intentions were good and honest, then there's no need to crucify myself for what I did or did not do. I can rest easy knowing that I did my best. I should finish my master's in secondary education in 2016. I do not have monetary value, but I am a wealthy individual. At the end of each day, I know that I have made a person smile. I have made them feel valuable. I have made a difference in this world and a difference in someone's life. I have value too. I can rest my head on my pillow each night with a clear conscience. Well, that's a life you can hang your hat on.
Scars like a road map, they remind me where I've been. Some places I'd go back and some I'd never go again. But there's a saying that all the cowboys say: just shut your mouth and nod your face, 'cause it's a crazy life, but somebody's gotta live it. A crazy ride, but you know I'm gonna try.